It's always a beautiful day in the neighborhood when Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback, except things may not be so beautiful after the injury to Jordy Nelson, who tore his ACL in the Green Bay Packers' second preseason game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodgers may have to give that relaxed speech a little bit sooner this time. Obviously, the Packers will have redemption on their minds all season long after seeing a 16-point lead and a 19-7 margin evaporate in the final 5 minutes of regulation against the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. Brandon Bostic let an onside kick slip through his hands, and the Seahawks then, of course, won in overtime. But it was a trip to the NFC title game that many Packers fans didn't even envision after a slow 1-2 start. Rodgers proceeded with his relaxed deal, and Green Bay not only started to reel off wins, but dominant wins, especially at home, where they were 8-0 and averaged an NFL-best 39.8 points per game. They also won games by a league-leading 19.4 points at home as well. At season's end, Rodgers had won his second NFL MVP and led Green Bay to its fourth straight NFC North crown. Another difference maker to the successful campaign was Clay Matthews' move to inside linebacker. He began to start midway through the season, and the Packers were 9th in points allowed over the last 8 games. It was a typical Green Bay offseason for Ted Thompson, who's had a formula of re-signing their most important free agents, parting ways with others, not dipping the toes into the free agent market, and building through the draft. Randall Cobb received a 4-year, $40 million deal, and Brian Bulaga came back on a 5-year, near $34 million pact. There were some changes in the coaching ranks after the NFC title game fiasco with the botched onside kick. Sean Slocum was fired, and special teams assistant Ron Zook was promoted. Head coach Mike McCarthy is also giving up his play calling duties to associate head coach Tom Clements. It should be an easy transition for Rodgers, who processes information as well as anybody in the league. He's basically a coach out on the field anyway in that open and balanced fast break offensive attack. And before I get into my position-by-position breakdown, let me just say this about the Nelson injury. There's no denying that the Nelson thing is a huge blow, but he is a big player on the outside. He tied for the NFL lead in 40-plus yard touchdown grabs with 7, and is 7th in the league since 2011 with 53 receptions of 25 yards or more. Nelson is also Rodgers' favorite target. He reeled in a career-high 98 balls a year ago for a franchise record 1,519 yards and 13 touchdowns. He was targeted 149 times, the 4th highest in the league. Only Damarious Thomas, Antonio Brown, and Julio Jones had more. With all that being said, however, the offense, it should be fine. Aaron Rodgers is still leading it. I think they'll be okay. The position-by-position grades are below. The unit rankings are below. Click on the description box. I'll also include it in the comments section. So there's that. Getting back to Rodgers, he's going to make you look good no matter who the receiver is. It may not be the best offense in the league, but to me, I still think the offense will be top 5. And Rodgers, he made it known post-game in that Steelers game that he's not a fan of the preseason. When asked about the opening 10-play, 80-yard touchdown drive, Rodgers answered, "This game doesn't mean anything." And he then went on and said that he doesn't need to take a single snap in the preseason and hoped that it would be cut down sometime in the future. Obviously, Rodgers didn't play Saturday night against the Eagles, not going to play his 4th preseason game, so he didn't even take another snap after that second game. Let's move on to what he actually brings as a quarterback. The reason why he's so dangerous is because he can beat you with both his feet and his legs. It's pick your poison. He's very accurate from the pocket, but also has the agility to escape it and throw P's on the move. You don't see Brady and Manning throwing outside the pocket the way Rodgers can. He's one of the few two-way quarterbacks in the league. It's him and Andrew Luck, and there's nobody else that can do what they do. His arm talent is exceptional. He can throw from an assortment of different body angles. He has the uncanny ability to thread the needle in the tightest of windows. And going back to the Lambeau Field dominance, he's thrown 36 touchdowns since his last interception and hasn't thrown a pick in 418 attempts. Scott Tolzien and rookie 5th-round pick Brent Hundley will be the backups to Rodgers. Moving on to the running backs, I love what Eddie Lacy brings to the table. Besides Marshawn Lynch, there's nobody that can break as many tackles as he can. What I think is most impressive about him is his ability to maintain his balance after contact. I mean, he just doesn't go down. At nearly 240 pounds, Lacy also has some very, very nimble feet for a man his size. He's also a big threat in the screen game. At one point last season, he surpassed 100 scrimmage yards in a franchise record 9 straight games. James Starks is more of a slasher, is a solid backup. He doesn't have the receiving ability that Lacy has. Raijon Neal will enter his sophomore campaign. Fullback John Kuhn is a fan favorite and a guy the Packers like to use around the goal line and in short yardage situations. Nelson and Cobb became the 5th pair of receivers to both haul in at least 12 touchdown passes in a season. But Cobb's going to have to shoulder a lot of the load, obviously. The problem with Cobb is that he's a slot receiver, but he is the best one in the business. He's tough, quick, and elusive. Does a great job of finding open spaces when Rodgers escapes the pocket. Huge threat in the red zone. But who's going to be the guy to step up and fill for Nelson on the outside? Well, it's got to be Davante Adams, right? In a loaded 2014 rookie class at wideout that featured the likes of Odell Beckham, Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans, Kelvin Benjamin, Adams finished just 11th among the rookies with 38 grabs. But he was a slow starter. He broke out against Miami in Week 6 with 77 yards on 6 catches and got better as the season went along. His best performance came against the Patriots when he put up 121 yards on 6 catches, and his playoff showing against Dallas wasn't too shabby either, hauling in 7 passes for 117 yards. He's not fast, but is a savvy route runner. He's shifty, has excellent vision in space. So who else can step up? There's 2014 7th rounder Jeff Janis, 2014 5th rounder Jared Abbrederis, and rookie 3rd rounder Ty Montgomery. You'd think one of these three can be that complimentary, third wheel alongside Cobb and Adams. Abbrederis is crafty, Janis has a side speeds combo, and Montgomery has, kind of running back skills after the catch. Andrew Quarless and Richard Rodgers are your tight ends. Quarless knows the system and is a better blocker. Rodgers, he's the better pass catcher. So there's that. I really like Green Bay's offensive line, especially in the middle with guards TJ Lang and Josh Sitton that go along with center Corey Linsley. Sitton's the best protecting guard in the game, not allowing a sack since Week 16 of the 2012 season. That is incredible. It's really astonishing. Plays with great balance, very fluid when he changes direction. He knows how to use his length and demonstrates very good patience. His run blocking could use some work, however. I think he can be a lot better in one-on-one situations. He has the agility, but doesn't always lock up at the point of attack. Lang is the better run blocker, although he's adept in keeping the quarterback clean. He's powerful, tough, agile, plays with good balance. Then there's Linsley, the 2014 5th-round pick. He was one of the biggest steals in the draft. He's very powerful, but also agile enough to make blocks inside, outside, and in the screen game. Very, very well-rounded. Right tackle, Bulaga, he was re-signed for 5 more years, like I said before. He's a blue-collar worker who never stops. He understands where to position his body, how to play angles. Very solid there. David Bakhtiari starts at left tackle. He has good feet and lateral agility, but he's still got some work to do. Unfortunately, he's the guy protecting Rodgers' blind side. I mean, he's the bad one out of the bunch, but he's okay. On the defensive line, Letroy Guion did an exceptional job filling in at nose tackle for B.J. Raji, who missed the 2014 season with a biceps injury. Guion will remain in the starting lineup at 3-4 defensive end. Raji and Guion are on 1-year deals. Unheralded Mike Daniels, however, is the best player on the D-line. He flourished at 6 foot, 305 pounds. He's undersized, but is lightning quick and has very, very impressive speed. For a man his size, he's good all the way around. As a pass rusher, he can convert speed to power really well, but can also go into his bag of tricks to counter move if the lineman gets over-aggressive. In the run game, he's very strong at the point of attack. Despite his size, he just makes mincemeat of opposing guards with his first step. Datone Jones and Josh Boyd will be in the mix for some snaps at defensive end as well. It looks like Matthews will move back to the outside for the start of the 2015 campaign alongside Julius Peppers. Matthews played all 16 games last year for the first time since 2009. He posted 11 sacks, counted for an astonishing 11 takeaways. there's nobody that can come around and bend the edge the way Matthews does. And he's relentless in pursuit. First step is ridiculously quick. In run defense, he wins with leverage. In pass defense, the one thing that I was really impressed with when he played inside linebacker was his ability to step up in coverage and take away the crossing routes. Pepper's playing standing up as a pass rusher for the first time in his illustrious career, and I'd say he figured it out by the time the Packers faced off with the Cowboys. He was unbelievable in that game. Nick Perry hasn't lived up to the pass rushing type he was supposed to be, but is still productive. You got Mike Neal. He's versatile. He'll sometimes line up inside, and when he does, he's simply too athletic for the guards. Sam Barrington and Nate Palmer will be the inside linebackers. I guess Green Bay can always slide Matthews back inside if need be, because it's going to be hard to count on those two. Barrington is a thumper in the run game, but he struggles mightily in coverage. The name to watch out for is rookie fourth-rounder Jake Ryan. He's not fast, which is why he, was drafted later, but he's blue-collar, very instinctive. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a shot to start at some point this season. I do like his prospect for the future, I kind of like him a little bit. There's a lot of pressure on Casey Hayward's move to the outside. He was an outstanding slot guy. Good ball skills, great instincts. Sam Shields will start opposite him. Shields gets beaten too much for my liking, but he's fast, has a good press to reroute receivers. He's got solid ball skills. I'm curious to see what the Packers are going to do with rookies Damarious, Randall, and Quentin Rollins, who were drafted in the first 2 rounds respectively. Both are safeties, although Randall has experience in coverage with the way he played safety in college. His range is exceptional. Looks like he's going to be a cornerback at least early on in his career. Rollins played just 1 season in college ball following a stint at the starting point guard spot at Miami of Ohio, but showed off outstanding instincts. I don't expect him to contribute much this season, but absolutely love his upside. Morgan Burnett and Clinton-Dix will start at safety. Dix struggled as a rookie with his tackling, gave up a lot of big plays. Burnett is a big hitter, and the arrival of Dix allowed him to play more inside the box where he excels. Mason Crosby had another strong season, but the rest of the special teams for Green Bay was woeful. Couldn't cover kicks. Tim Masthay struggled going back to that coverage unit. They allowed 7 block kicks all season long. That is just like mind-boggling stuff. Montgomery will take care of the kickoff return duties, while Micah Hyde returns as the punt returner. He ran 3 punts back for touchdowns last season. So it is prediction time, and I guess this will be my version of the relaxed speech. I think Green Bay is going to be fine. You got Aaron Rodgers. I can't stress it enough. You guys know this. You guys in Green Bay should know. I think they're going to be okay. I got them going 12-4. I don't think they're better than Seattle, but I think they're the second best team in the NFC. And as you saw last year, Rodgers put them in a position to win the game in Seattle a year ago. So they know, and they have the confidence, and they can go into Seattle, go into that hot, raucous fan base, and if they do play each other, say in the NFC Championship game again, there's no reason why Green Bay can't win, even without Jordy Nelson. So there's that. 12-4. 2 seed in the NFC, obviously going to win the NFC North again for the 5th straight year. So that's my prediction for the Packers this season. So, Packers fans, let me know what you think they're going to go during the regular season. Let me know in the comments section below. If you got any problems with any of my rankings, any of the unit rankings, again, let me know. Debate me. I love a debate. I love discussing sports, love talking football. So, let me know. So with that being said, make sure you follow us on Twitter @TheBitterBirds. I'm out later. And I'm going to try to get another preview in today, so we'll see.